Karnataka High Court orders government to reconsider its decision on Tipu Jayanti. The government says that they can't give law and order as a reason for the ban. That's what the Karnataka High Court says. Karnataka High Court says that the government must take a decision only after considering all aspects in the case. The High Court has now given its word, says that they cannot possibly decide only based on the government's reason of law and order situation. Government must take a decision after considering all aspects is what Karnataka High Court says. The High Court also asks the government to take a decision in 2 months. High Court has adjourned the plea in the case till 2020 January. Now this is quite an important and a crucial word coming from the High Court. Tipu Jayanti celebrations. Now the High Court was supposed to hear a plea against the ban on Tipu Jayanti, and we're looking at the Karnataka High Court coming out with an explanation or actually a question asking the government what other aspects of Tipu Jayanti is bothering you, and if there is a valid good reason, then the High Court has asked the Karnataka government to take 2 months to come back with a very good valid reason for the ban on Tipu Jayanti. Let's take a quick listen. My colleague Nikhil joining us on the phone line. Nikhil, the High Court has asked Karnataka government to reconsider the ban and if at all they want to implement the ban, and then on what grounds the High Court has asked, and they've given the state government 2 months time by January 2020 to come up with a valid explanation for them to actually ban Tipu Jayanti. Law and order cannot be the only answer is what the court says.
Well, clearly the High Court seems to give the impression that the government has not really thought it out when they came out with saying that Tipu Jayanti celebrations will be stopped once and for all. And this is, of course, on the basis of a petition from other parties that were looking for Tipu Jayanti celebrations to be reinstated in the state as well, or at the very least not be interfered with, considering various alternate perspectives of history. Having said that, the government is being placed on a back foot over here because it has long been pushing for a complete removal, even when the current government was sitting in the opposition. The leaders of the current government were sitting in the opposition and stating that Tipu Jayanti should not be condoned at all. So this is certainly going to be a situation to ponder for the government as well. They've got 2 months to come up with an answer to the High Court, and law and order being the sole reason, as explained by the government, the law and order situation could go awry. That is not being bought as a sole reason as well. So the government will have to come up with more valid reasons, and if the reasons are not considered valid by the court, which will hear the case again 2 months from now, that's roughly middle of January 2020, then they're expecting the government to come up with more solid reasons as to why there should not be any Tipu Jayanti celebrations. And this may include invoking lessons from history as understood by the government as well, and which could be quite a sensitive thing to do. So all said and done, there is going to be a lot of treading of eggshells in this particular matter. What remains to be seen is how valid the government can put forward these points and state that there is some sort of credence to this, other than the law and order situation, which clearly is not being bought by the Karnataka High Court, Nabila.
And clearly here, while the government has said that Tipu Jayanti celebrations will be banned, we believe that the AG, the Advocate General Prabhuling Navadgi, has told the division bench today that there is no ban or a complete ban on Tipu Jayanti celebrations in Karnataka. It's only at the government level that we will not celebrate Tipu Jayanti. But if people want to celebrate Tipu Jayanti at large, they can go ahead and celebrate it. That's more or less what the AG has said to the court as well here, Nikhil. Is the BJP government now sort of loosening its stance, just looking at the amount of opposition it's getting from all quarters on a ban, a complete ban, and also the talk about taking off Tipu's mention on textbooks? It seems like the BJP government is sort of giving some benefit of doubt for those supporting Tipu Sultan.
That can definitely be surmised from what the Advocate General is saying, Nabila. The fact that at a government level, at an official level, there will be no celebrations, but we're not going to ban anyone or stop anyone from celebrating Tipu Jayanti. We won't stop them from celebrating by way of processions or public displays. If that is the extent of what is being allowed over here, it does appear that the government is looking to have a fail-safe method to ensure that their point of government wanting to not celebrate Tipu Jayanti is brought in, but at the same time it placates members of the minority, it placates those who are followers of the ideals of Tipu Sultan as well, and who have a perspective of history that is different from what the BJP government has, and considering that they're citizens of Karnataka as well. And ultimately it is all about the politics of it all. Let's face it, 7 years ago, when Yediyurappa was not the chief minister, and he had called himself the former chief minister, when he visited the Gumbas in Srirangpatna, and he said that Tipu Sultan is a brave warrior who sacrifices life for Mother India, clearly written in English as well. So that sudden change of stance, now that he's part of the government, is it all political gimmickry at play? That is the sort of embarrassment Yediyurappa and his government can do without. So perhaps we may expect a lot more softening of the stance of Tipu Sultan, aside from what the Advocate General said, Nabila.
Right. Nikhil, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Tipu Jayanti celebrations, not a complete ban, only ban at a government level is what the Advocate General has said to the advocates in court. Now, it remains to be seen what reasons, other reasons, apart from the law and order situation, will the BJP government here give to court in 2 months' time. The court has dismissed the plea hearing until 2020 January, and that's when, by then, the government has to prepare reasons to why they want to ban Tipu Jayanti celebrations in the state.